All right, what is going on and how y'all doing today on a Monday? A Falcons winning Monday. We have yet to say that in 2022, and we are here to talk about it, folks. Atlanta pulls off. Look, every game we've had has come down to basically the last 2 minutes. And did you expect anything different? I still stand by the fact that I think we played an inferior team in Seattle, but it is what it is. Seattle came to play. We were in their place. Judging from what it sounded like on TV, it sounded like Seattle did Seattle things. They got loud. They did what they were supposed to do. And the Falcons went in there, and I just think we're a better team, man. I understand the one win Seattle had this year, but I just thought we were the better team. So it does not shock me that the Falcons won this game 27-23 in Seattle. This is your Uncle Steve here on Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. Thank you for joining. If you get a chance to tell your friends about it, share the link. Let them get involved in what we have going on here, getting some Atlanta Falcons Homer content. That's right, I said Homer. Not going to sit up here and try to be ESPN and be Fox and, give you what the national perspective is. I'm giving you this perspective right here from the backyard, here in the ATL. Longtime Falcon fan here. I don't apologize for that. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about this win, what this means. I did want to focus a little bit, and then we're going to talk all about what happened and how things went during the game from here until about 7 o'clock. But let's talk about this weird fan reaction this year to winning. I mean, it's really crazy to me. But let's talk about that. First, I'm going to acknowledge everybody coming in. John, what's going on, brother? As usual, always glad to see you in the house on Uncle Steve's Lounge. My brother, Gregory, feels good to hear you with a W. A lot of work, a lot of stuff to work on, but a W nonetheless. By the way, that fumble was on our rookie, not Mariota, to be honest. We're going to get to that as well. I know there was a lot of speculation and a lot of finger pointing with that. But, that comes with the territory of a fan. Lisa is in the house. Our first victory. Yes, ma'am. And I know you're glad. And especially going into a home game. Boy, it would have been a drag going into this game against Cleveland 0-3. But, thank goodness they avoided that. That's my brother Glenn in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you out there rolling with us here in Atlanta Bird Gang. Thank you so much for joining us. Brother Corey is in the house on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you, Corey. Rise up to you, my friend. False start. What's going on, man? Said driving to Connecticut with a load of sofas. Let's make it a streak. Hey, man, I can get one of them sofas, man. Next time you're gonna have to make a U-turn coming in here, man. Corey also says, hope all is well. I hope all is well with you guys. It's a beautiful day. Shout out to our folks in Florida and then our folks down in Puerto Rico. We had some folks that I found out were listening on YouTube and things. All of the rain and the impending things happening with Hurricane Ian. Hopefully, a lot doesn't happen to folks. Just prayers up for everybody going through that, man. Hey, what's going on, Uncle? And listen, I'm going to have to ask those who haven't signed on with the StreamYard where you can show your name. I like talking to people. So when I see the Facebook user thing, I never want to ignore people. So if you don't mind, just shoot real quick who it is so I can always be able to acknowledge you. And it's not my fault. I guess that's the thing. If you don't do it through StreamYard so you can say your name. They don't put it up there. But I always appreciate talking to everybody here. Brother Cam is in the house. What's going on, Uncle Steve? We got the dub, and that's all that matters. Cam, you are one of those fans, which I enjoy, man. Look, yeah, let me hold that thought because I want to go in on this. Good scary win, but you know what? They don't put scary win in the winning column. They say wins and losses. A win is a win. Glenn says feels good Monday with a dub, brother. It feels good. My breakfast was good yesterday. I couldn't, the energy is different, and social media is different. It's crazy. You're typing with purpose. You're not typing defending. You're typing, and now you can say your team is winning, and that's a beautiful thing. And not that you don't still, have faith in your team when you lose, but at the same time, a win feels good. Ask Seattle how they feel today. Cam says, LOL, Glenn, Mr. Potato Head in the building. Boy, you better leave Glenn alone. Glenn go working upside you. Oh, man, my brother Harrison's in the house. What's up, Doc? I'm glad the Falcons won. Was excited like a playoff game. And, Harrison, I think we've come to the point that I think that's what we're going to get from this squad this year. I don't think anything is going to be a blowout. I think we're going to get down to the last possession type games this year. That's what we've been getting the first 3 games. There has not been a game that you can say these guys have quit. They've done all they could do. So I like the fight. The fight is awesome to me. So I don't know why people aren't, excited about what's going on. Julie is in the house. How you doing, sis? Good to see you in the house today. I know you're happy. I saw you responding to the win, and it's always good to have share these wins with real fans like yourself. And yeah, I said it, real fans. Somebody want to challenge me because I know my real fans and I know who they are. These real Falcon fans. That's who I talk to, and I know Julie is one of them. Greg says CP84 is a creative Madden player. I'm gonna tell you, man. When you start looking, and I'm not trying to compare him pound for pound with Derrick Henry, but as big as he is, I don't think I truly appreciated Cordero's running style more than I have this year. And I watched all of last year. And I saw some of the things Cordero was doing. And you know what, y'all? You know what my thought was? Oh, man, this is a fluky type thing he's doing. He's getting an opportunity to play. He'll give this to us 1 year. That's why I didn't want to overpay him coming into this year. But dude is balling out. 141 yards was the last time you said that about any Atlanta Falcon running back. That's how you win games, folks. Run the ball, control the clock. And they've been doing a great job doing that. Another one that what to do, brother. We had a 3-pack this week. The Dogs, Braves, and them Dirty Birds this good weekend. Wait a minute. We didn't have the quad win. No Georgia Tech. and I actually feel sorry for my Tech folks today. The Yellow Jackets in the house as they cleaned house with Jeff Collins and Stansbury as the AD up there. Man, I really do. Quiet as it kept, I am a homer. Not the homer part. I'm a homer for all my state teams and everything. But there was a time, because I'm here in the city, because I'm born and raised in Atlanta, I was more of a Tech guy than I was Georgia. I mean, and don't get it twisted. When they're not playing each other, I was always UGA. But for the last 15, 20 years, even though there were a couple of spikes there when my man Paul Johnson, who had them the last time they won an ACC title and had a couple of decent years. Aside of that, man, Georgia Tech has had nothing to really bring to the table. So it's kind of hard to it's hard because those guys, we dog Atlanta Falcons out, but Georgia Tech consistency, man, they haven't been there at all. Um, Glenn said, "Damn, Cam, you all the love to those, all love those. Glad we got the dub. We needed it. We absolutely needed it." Another Facebook user comes in, says, "Fries up, great Monday. Love my team." Again, y'all who you just come in. Again, I'm on the StreamYard app, so some of this is coming in where I can't see who you are. So if you get a chance to, if you haven't signed with it, just put your name on there so I can know who I'm talking to. Glenn says Cordero Patterson better be all pro this year. Got a long way to go, Glenn. I hope it holds up. The one thing I did like about that, Glenn, only 17 touches. Now we're at a point where, remember last year, we had to use him for everything. He had to come out of the backfield. He had to line up as wide receiver. And not to say he still can't do those things, but now we have players who are fitting in those spots. We got my brother Hotline Bling over there, Drake, over on one side. We got the Unicorn lining up at tight end and every other position in the backfield doing what he's doing. We got the baby boy Tyler Algier getting him some meaningful carries during the game. Now we're coming to where our offense, let's keep it real, our offense is really starting to come together. And are we the greatest show on turf? No. Are we the Falcons team of 2016? No. But when you can control the ball like the Falcons did yesterday and eat up that time and tire out that defense. How many times have we got to that situation with a minute and 40 left? We had it this year in New Orleans where we couldn't get that 10 yards, that first down we needed to run the clock out. Folks, I'm telling you, to get that first down in 2 carries, man, Cordero is a beast. And more importantly, offensive line, the much maligned offensive line that we all were talking about in the offseason, we're 3 games in. They might be the best unit so far. Running the ball. Yeah, we had a couple of misses where they came in and got Mariota a little bit more yesterday. But as far as the offensive line is concerned, oh my God. I mean, it's impressive. Another game with almost 200 yards rushing as a team. And Mariota didn't do a lot of rushing yesterday. He did the one design run in the first quarter. That was it. So that's impressive. Abel's in the house on Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. What's going on? Said we just need a top 20 defense. The offense is averaging 25 points a game. Last year, the offense averaged 18 points a game. And look, Abel, you're right. And let's not act like it's totally unbalanced. There are a couple of times on the offense where we kind of sputter at the wrong time. Abel, we should have put up 40 points on this defense yesterday. And I'm just not talking about just the fumble at the end. There were a couple of times we should have put up 40 on this team. Easy. So there's still a work in progress, but again, I'll take the win. Yes, there are problems. We'll take the win. Lisa says CP is a beast. So glad he plays for us. I am, and I like that he's endearing himself to this fan base. Because you start talking about somebody who not only came in as, let's face it, as kind of a throwaway player for another organization. He has come in, embraced the Atlanta culture, and this year he's all over the place, upbeat, talked about what he wants to be in this city. That's what I'm talking about. And I love it. I got his back. Cam says CP is seeing lanes and holes faster. He's becoming a legitimate weapon as a running back. Yeah, and who would have thought that a couple of years ago? You knew him as a special teams guy. But and somebody was asking about that. Well, we should split him out. I'm like, for what? Man, give that man his rest and let him come on there. And like I said, give the young puppy, and I say that, of course, metaphorically, Tyler Algier, let him get some hard, get that defensive line tired a little bit. Then bring CPA4 in there and let him run them down like he did yesterday. jumping over folks, man. Ryan, what's going on? The historians in the house, host of the Birdcage on Atlanta Bird Gang at 8 o'clock on Thursdays. Ryan says, William Andrews says he gonna come out of retirement for one more play. Yeah, right. You better leave William alone, brother. I told you about peeking out of pocket by my boy. My bad, brother. I thought my name was up. No, Macario, what's going on, brother? No, man. Listen, for some reason, again, you know, Facebook wants you to sign in, and I'm not ever going to make anybody do what they don't want to do. But when I see the Facebook user, I always want to make sure I'm acknowledging you, especially home folk like yourself, brother. Yeah, man, we did it, brother. We did it. One win, one down, few more to go. Let's keep it rolling. Ryan says, I'm all dog. My auntie went to UGA, and my godfather, Clarence K., was Brock Bowers before Brock Bowers was Twinkle. No love for them honey bees. Yeah, I know. It is hard to understand, because if you were with the city, if you were in the city, a lot of times, you know, we used to get tickets to go to the little, they used to have a JV game between the Junior Jackets and the Junior Dogs. And being from the city, again, you're also talking about in 70s and 80s, you're talking about, it was a little distinct difference between Georgia Tech, because we were in Atlanta, and UGA, Athens, country. You know, there was a dividing line, but it is what it is. Nowadays, you know, I root for them all, man. It doesn't matter. Gregory says Billy White Shoes Johnson is definitely smiling for CP. And yeah, Billy was kind of in that position, Gregory, when he came to play for us one year, where Billy White Shoes didn't get a lot of run at wide receiver when he was with Houston back in the day. So when he came to Atlanta, he got a lot of run at the wide receiver position, in addition to still doing his thing with returning punts. Lisa says we needed that W going on 3 would have dug us a deep hole. Being 1 and 2, we're right in the NFC South mix. Shoot, we're right in the NFC mix. If you truly look at the NFC, and I know it's early, and the good teams will grind it out, and the good teams will eventually get it together. But you look at the defending champs, you look at Tampa Bay, you look at Green Bay, teams are flawed. And while we are uber critical about our team, we are a team, it seems like so far, that they're not afraid of the challenge. They don't know any better. They were already picked to be the worst team in the NFL, so they have nothing they playing with house money. They nothing to worry about. Just go out there and play ball. As some people have alluded to, we are 1 or 2 plays away from 3-0. But it is what it is. We'll take the win and we'll keep moving. The historian says he and Alfred Jenkins legends. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Raymond, what's going on? Said it's coming along. Yes, sir. And for those who don't understand what we mean when we say transitions means there is a change. It might take a second. Last year we started. This year it's really kind of taking shape. By next year, I'm trying to tell you, there might be words like challenge. There might be words like competing for a playoff spot. There might be words like competing for a division. Tom Brady is not Tom Brady of a couple of years ago. Jameis Winston has been Jameis Winston for the last couple of games, injuries notwithstanding. Carolina, they're us. So we got a puncher's chance against them too. So the NFC South is wide open. Wide open. Jack Doe, what's going on, my brother? Say, I still cannot get with the 84. I'm old school, put a 33 on him. Man, these young boys, man, they want to change their numbers so they can. 84 gets all the love, all the 80s. He probably, trying to mimic some of the guys from the past and things like that. Let them have their number, man. It don't matter. Let them keep putting up them numbers. Put up them stats, I should say. He could be 84 all he wants to, as long as he's running 17 for 141. I'll take it all day. And I'll keep saying that like that's the gospel truth. Let me make sure that's right. Yep, 17 carries, 141 yards, 8.3 yards a carry. I mean, dude, love it. Brother Rick in the house. What's going on, Rick? Rick is watching us on Atlanta Bird Game. Appreciate you, brother. He says Facebook user says we in the house. Ricky goes back and says CP ain't no joke. And why was everybody complaining? Ricky says CP is running over folks like Eric Dickerson. That's the fake John Harris saying, I got to talk about this. Yeah, we're going to talk about that on a different one because I got a short agenda today, brother. We're going to have to get on that one a little bit later with you when I know I got a little bit more time. Devontae, what's going on? Said, what's up, Unc? I believe if we continue this momentum, then I believe we will have a better record than we had last year. What you think? I think the sky's the limit. And again, let's start really looking at this thing, folks. You know, at the beginning of the year, we were looking at this schedule and it looked daunting. It looked like it was something where, oh man, there's no way that we're going to be able to manage, you know, this schedule. But let's look at the next. Let's look at the next games. We got the Browns, and yes, the Browns look good against the Steelers, but I think the Steelers are kind of weak this year. The Buccaneers, I'm scared of their defense, but Tom Brady is not doing it this year. And I told people that. If everybody goes back and watch, I told people. 49ers, Jimmy G looks disoriented. And yes, the Denver defense is not bad, but 10 points? You should be able to fall into 10 points. I don't know. The Bengals. Shoot, if we put the pass rush we've been showing against the Bengals, we might be able to put Joe on his butt about 4 or 5 times during the game. And then the Panthers. I don't even need to say anything about the Panthers and then the Chargers. My man is hurting. And it showed. Jacksonville waxed them yesterday. So now all of a sudden this schedule is not looking as, oh my goodness, as it was before. And I'm going to take that. Nobody feels sorry for anybody in the NFL. A win is a win is a win. So no, we'll keep it going like that. RJ in the house. RJ says, we have a team that believes in themselves. And so far with the 3 games we played, and people can say what they want to say. But, dude, Arthur Smith got these folks believing. Dean Pease got these folks believing. I'm not saying he doesn't have them not maybe making mistakes and mental mistakes. No, that's the plan. The plan is pretty good. You have to execute. Of course, everyone wants to point to the fumble with Mariota and Algier. I don't care whose fault it is. Both of them touched the ball. It's both of their faults. I saw somebody, if you know football, that was, if you knew football, if you knew the play, you'd be out there coaching them. I saw the quarterback with the ball. I saw the running back touch the ball. It's both of their fault. Don't tell me you know who's supposed to catch it, whether he's supposed to hold on to it, was Tyler supposed to grab it. I don't know, but I saw both of them with their hands on it, and I saw both of them, and both of them to a man will probably not throw the other one under the bus. So we never know. I got it too or something. I know football. That was the wrong play. I don't care if you know anything. You know something, you be on the sidelines. You be making money and not typing a U.S. postal worker. What's going on, Uncle Steve? Nothing much, brother. What's going on? It's Macario again in the house. What is up? Stewart in the house. What's going on? It was a good game. They are actually a good team. They just need to get past the unnecessary mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But this roster has turned over probably 50% of the folks on there. Aside of the draft picks of probably 20 and 21, this is a relatively new team. Couple of undrafted free agents on this team. And these folks are playing. So whatever they feeding them mentally and physically up there at Flowery Branch, these guys are buying in. And that's what you have to do. If you don't buy in, you're done. Look at Kansas City yesterday, fighting on the sidelines. When you don't buy in, that stuff happens. You know? Look at the guy with the Jets getting ready to body slam his defensive line coach. When you don't buy in, that stuff happens. The majority of the time when you see those things happen with teams, they don't win the game because they're not focused. Because you can't tell me other people on the sideline, especially in the Kansas City game, when they see their leader fighting with their coach on the sideline verbally, that affects them. When you see on the defensive guy from, that's the guy from Alabama, I think that was Quentin Williams. When you see him arguing with the coach on the sidelines, don't tell me that doesn't have an effect on the team. Don't tell me that. So whatever's going on in Atlanta at this moment, whether we're 1-2 or not, they're buying in. I heard they had a players meeting Saturday night to talk about it. A couple of the players talked about it. Said they cleared the air on some things. Didn't sound like it was discord. Just sounded like they wanted to get together. They're 0-2. I'd rather have a player meeting at 0-2 than 0-6. And whatever was said, obviously, was some motivation. They played well yesterday. Said that leapfrog move from CP was a magic stick move. Macario, you are right on point, my friend. Right on point. Jack Doe says, Myles Garrett just got hurt. I saw that. He might be out. They were saying ESPN, not ESPN, TMZ said they were minor injuries. But yeah, I saw that. That was about an hour or so ago that they just reported that. Yeah, that could be interesting if because I don't care what you say. You flip around. They say the car flipped several times. If I read that story from TMZ, and I think it was a Porsche, and the Porsche looked bad. So one of those things that, you know, when you have a sudden impact, at the moment you might jump up, but you'll feel it later. Let's hope he's okay for the long term, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they say, you know, let's rest for a day. Ryan says, I think that Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins are going to be one of the nastiest safety tandems when they learn the speed of the game as full-time starters. They will destroy many offenses. I love the back end. Yeah, I not only like the safety play, I like the cornerback play too, because a lot of folks were getting on AJ, and well-deserved for a couple of plays. But as I tell people with the cornerback position, you have to have a short memory. And those plays, Jameis hit them on yesterday, and he kind of got baptized against Cooper Kupp a couple of times. And even the one play with DK Metcalf on the first drive, where was the first drive or the second drive? Might have been first or second drive, when he got beat one play and then came back and made an incredible play in the end zone to save a touchdown, and showing us a little bit more of that flash for the rest of the game. Hey, dude, we're gonna be fine in the secondary. We just gotta, you know, we can't keep the Terrell Allen stuff going on. AJ is a very nice cornerback. Let's stop trying to make him historic before he truly is. This is just his third year. Is it third or fourth? Oh, yeah. It's 20. I think it's third year. So let's not, you know, try to build him up that heavy so quick. Ricky said, we can't enjoy a win for complaining. That's what's wrong. The defense showed up when it was important, even though that RPO didn't end well. The defense showed up. They don't give up. They play with a chip on their shoulder. Our team leaves it out on the field. I can't be more happier about it. Listen, anytime we win is a happy time for me. anytime we win. I don't care. I'll worry about the mistakes later. Man, did y'all see Arthur Smith at the post game? Dude, I saw more teeth from him than I've seen this year. Because dude, winning permeates throughout. You don't think it's going to be a better, even with the mistakes you have to clean up? You don't think it's going to be a better week of practice this week? I think it's going to be awesome because now you got something to work with. And you're right, it wasn't perfect, but hey, they still kept it moving. Gregory says, I'm definitely proud of my birds. No team is perfect. We're okay with what we have, but imagine what we'll look like with chemistry and more cap money. To be continued, because that's going to happen next year. I like Mariota, truthfully. He just started for real. And let me start with the Mariota thing, but because that was really one of the reasons why I made a point of, are we really so critical about wins that we can't enjoy them? Listen, folks, I don't know how much more we have to tell folks. Marcus Mariota was not brought in here to be the future quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. If there is an off chance that he could perform to a higher level than we expected, who knows? But the play we've got from him over the last 3 games is kind of what I thought it would be. Even as excited as we got in preseason in that first Detroit game when he comes right down and scores, and I think it was the Jacksonville game, where he was it Jacksonville that was the next one? I forgot. Whatever the next game was he played a couple of series and he still looked good and everything. And everybody was like, oh my God, we stole this. This is magic that he's gonna come in there. No, this is probably what we thought we'd get out of Mariota. Athleticism enough to get out of the pocket, extend some plays. Yesterday, he didn't get a chance to get a lot of yards. He had 1 run. I think that was for some positive yards. Still got to get that sliding down pat. But he is who we thought he was. And you know what? Yesterday, he won. So I'm going to give him his credit. Numbers aren't gaudy. His numbers aren't gaudy. I'm looking at them now. Don't pull this down. Yesterday, Marcus was 13 for 20, 229 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 ill-advised interception, and they'll go back and learn from that. So, sacked 3 times, but he rolled into 2 of those. So, I mean, not bad. Got to watch out with the fumbles. Got to be careful. Fumbled twice, lost 1 of them. 99.8 quarterback rating. By most terms, that's pretty good. I bet you if you go and rate the quarterbacks out of all 32 last week, I bet you that's not in the bottom 5. Because Justin Fields played this week. And all love to Justin, but whew, boy, that's going to be scary. So I'm not here to toot Mariota's horn, but I am here to say we have to start realizing what he is. And sometimes all you need is a what they are quarterback. Y'all think Brad Johnson was really that great the year they won the Super Bowl? Do you honestly think Trent Dilfer was that awesome when Baltimore won the Super Bowl that year? Sometimes you just need a quarterback to perform. And in this offense where it seems like it's going to be 60-40 run to pass, he might fit in pretty well. Like everyone else, I'm super interested to see what we have in Ritter. But 3 games in, and especially with a win in his pocket this week, just hold tight just a second. I know we want to see him. I want to see him too. But hold tight just a second. One team that scares me is the Eagles. They're a complete team, and Jalen Hurts look like he's arrived. They're going to be a problem. Yeah, Glenn, but they also surrounded him with a lot of talent this year. If you think about what the Eagles did, they kind of had a reclamation project that took about what, a year, not 2 years, and they are only 4 years removed from the Super Bowl. And they stripped that bad boy down and started over. And now they're looking good. I'm trying to tell you. Ricky said we're only one game out of first place this year. Absolutely. By the numbers, we're last. And the only reason we're last because we lost that division game. And Carolina has beaten New Orleans in the division game. So if you got into the intricacies of everything, where we still have to get that division game under our belt. But to your point, one game out to a Tampa team right now that can't keep wide receivers healthy or unpunished. A New Orleans team that I'm telling y'all, when this is said and done, don't be shocked if New Orleans wins about 6 games this year. I told folks from the beginning, this is not Sean Payton. Dennis Allen does not hold the same weight Sean Payton does. Sean Payton would have done something about Jameis game 2. And Dennis Allen sitting there talking about, well, we'll still keep him up there. Okay. Start losing down there in New Orleans. Because they don't have sacks no more. They got plastic sacks. They'll kill people. We don't want them putting plastic sacks on their head, much as we don't like them. We want them to stay alive. Can't put them holes in there. Saints are in trouble. And I love it. Ryan says we got to stop that Cleveland run game to win on Sunday. Nick Chubb is killing the league this year. That dog has been the truth since getting to the league. And don't ignore the contributions of Kareem Hunt, too. Their running game is a problem. But if you stop that running game, and boy, we could use, and I know the controversy about Deion Jones, and he's not going to be available this game. He will be able to come off the IR next week, and we'll see whether they end up keeping him or trading him. But we need a linebacker that can cover these tight ends because we got a problem coming up this week with Cleveland. But if you can contain their running game, I don't think you're going to stop Chubb. But if you can contain Chubb and Kareem Hunt, you're going to have a shot against this Cleveland team. Because I want to put it in Jacoby's hand to throw the ball. This is a different defense than Jacoby came up against that year with Matt Ryan. And we came into their place and he started, and he had Marlon Mack and all of that stuff. Stop the run. That is going to be, I'm sure that's going to be the key thing this week. Because if they don't stop the run, they might as well forget it. Glenn says one team that scared. Oh, you said that. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. You must have repeated that. I don't know why that came through again. Ryan says CP84 is good as them food stamps and government cheese on the first month in the projects. Hey, all right, I hear you. The Bowens is one of my. The Bowens was one of my books, Stephen Johnson. The Bowens. Okay, I might have to clean that up for me because I'm kind of lost on that. All right, Glenn says, and the Ravens are on a mission. Lamar Jackson, man. Lamar is a pinball machine right now. Lamar is on a whole different level at this moment. Absolutely on there. So yeah, in the house, number one at the MVP, I would probably put Jalen Hurts second. Got to put CP3 in the top 10 somewhere because I know he's got to be close to leading the league in rushing. Got to be close, right? Let's see. Let's see what the leaders have right now. Let's see. 2022. Right now, I only got 2 runners that haven't played, and that's Saquon and Zeke. Oh man, At this moment, rushing, man, rushing yards. Nick Chubb is number 1. Cordero is number 2 at this moment. Nick Chubb has 341 yards. Cordero has 302. So you got to put those guys up there as far as most valuable player right now. Devontae says, we started out 0-5 last year, and we're currently 1-2 this year. So far, I got faith in this team, especially if they get better this game. I don't think we started 0-5 last year. I think that Giants, was that Giants game 6? Was it that far? And forgive me if you're right. I'm giving you love, but I thought that game was a little bit earlier than that. I thought we started off that bad. Let me see. Yeah, we won that Giants game early. You might be talking about the year before. 0-5 was the Dan Quinn year. 0-5 was the Dan Quinn year. But your point is still taken. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that was the year Quinn got fired. But yeah, we actually won. We were actually 2-3 because remember we beat the Giants in the third game, just like this year, and we beat the Jets overseas 2 games later. We were 2-3. But I get your point. I'm not trying to correct you to say you're the scourge of the earth. I'm just saying I could have sworn we had won that game a little earlier. Thought starts in when the game is on the line. Mariota gets too nervous. That's not good for big games. Hopefully Ritter can have a little more poisonous system when they put him in because the team can win now. And I think what they're waiting for, if I could probably reach into the mind of Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith, the team is gelling and the team is going to get better. You see certain ways we are getting better defensively, offensively, especially in the trenches. So by the time we're ready for Ritter, we will have a cohesive unit that would be more conducive to winning. We can't throw him out in the middle of learning because he's going to have a learning curve itself. I have no doubt that Ritter can thrive if he were put into action. But there's no reason at this moment to put him in. At this moment, until we see maybe if we made a swan dive 3 or 4 in a row. Let's see how this thing works out, folks. I mean, anything we get positive is a plus. Because again, we're supposed to be the 32nd ranked team in the NFL. Christian said, what's up, How you feeling today? We said it from the start of this year. It's going to be interesting because all the teams seem balanced and we're really looking good if we can clean up a little bit on defense. I agree. And I remember you one of the main people that stayed optimistic about what this team can do. Again, the NFL right now, and even when you see Buffalo lose, and I think Buffalo is still the best team in the NFL despite the loss to Miami, I think that heat was just folks falling out like flies, man. You can't sit there and say, you expect Buffalo to come back, 3 offensive linemen down, Stephon Diggs going out every other play in defense of Buffalo. But Miami did play a good game and they deserved that win. But I still put my money on Buffalo as one of the best teams in the NFL. I still do that. My brother Alberto, 95 North Falcons Talk. He is on YouTube. Please go hook him up and subscribe and look in your if you get a chance. I don't know if you get a chance to look at your text, brother. CP mentioned yesterday after the game there was a players meeting only, so that was so awesome to know. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I heard that same thing. I heard the sound bite where he said that, and maybe that cleared the air. Maybe that was something they needed. They needed that to at least, get on the same page. I always like the players meeting you find out about afterwards. When you hear about in the news, well, they're going to have a player meeting before the game. No, tell me about it afterwards. Media doesn't have to know, and then you come out and perform. So, you know, Devontae said, "My bad." Now, no, dude, don't even waste your breath, brother. I'm messing up every couple of minutes. I got my little stats up here and still messing up the thing. No, you good to go, brother. You are good. Also, he said, did it surprise you Dean Pease was trying to switch it up, so to say, defensively with guys like Lamont and Troy Anderson? In the presser that Arthur Smith had, he mentioned trying to get some of the younger guys in there to get them some playing time. The presser he gave yesterday, not the one today. I haven't heard the one today. But yesterday he did mention Troy getting in there and a couple of schematic things they were doing. And I think that's good. Even if he might not be 100% acclimated to what they're doing, but you got to put them in there sooner or later. Because guess what? Troy, by next year, Troy is supposed to be a starting linebacker on this team. He should be a starting linebacker, if not the end of this year. But as high as they drafted him, he needs to be starting next year, without a doubt. So I like the fact that they're mixing him and Landon and folks like that in there. Give him a chance. I think his timing is off a bit, but he does his job. He was never meant to be an end-all, be-all. And that's the attitude that kind of bothers me, that people don't see that. I understand that some people lost their souls and hearts when the guy got traded in March to Indianapolis. I feel you. Feel your sympathy, whatever. And when they talked about Mariota coming in here, it was amazing to me that some people were really, truly like, really? That's what you're going to replace him in? That's the future of the franchise? And I don't like going to the I know football, you don't thing. But that is one of them cases where you say, okay, y'all, let's kind of look at where Marcus Mariota is. He lost his job in Tennessee. He's on the bench with the Raiders. Now he's asked to come to start for the Falcons. Do you really think he's being brought in here as the future of the Atlanta Falcons at quarterback? And if you do say that, I just advise you to just take a look back at his recent history. Now, whatever we're getting out of Marcus Mariota this year is gravy. Everything we're getting. The 13 for 20, the running of the touchdown yesterday, being able to get out of the pocket, made some nice throws to Drake, made some nice throws to Kyle Pitts. That's beautiful. But if you think for 1 minute that Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot at this second are saying that's our future, they might be looking at that MVP candidate up there in Baltimore. But Ricky says Mariota is, and until unproven different, a bridge quarterback only. He is not the future of the Falcons. Missed me with that. And it's hard. And Ricky, I don't want anybody to misconstrue what I'm saying. I am rooting 100% for Marcus Mariota to be successful. He's the quarterback of my team. He's the quarterback of the team I root for. So if you think for 1 minute I'm sitting out there hoping he falls and hoping he doesn't do well, then you're mistaken. You're not reading between the lines. I want Mariota to be the top-rated quarterback this year, if it was up to me. But I'm also at a point where I'm tempering what my expectations are based on what he's done recently. Now, if you want to take that same scenario, if you're the Denver Broncos and you just got Russell Wilson on your team, I would be a little disappointed and I would be a little concerned because 3 games in, yeah, It's looking kind of interesting in Denver. They put up 11 points yesterday. And I never thought Russ was elite. Never. I thought he was a good placeholder when they needed him, and he had some leadership capabilities, and he was able to lead the offense. Nothing super special about Russell. Athleticism, nothing super special. They just invested some big money extending him. And you better believe Denver fans are probably saying, please don't let this be Brock Osweiler again. Because he's been looking kind of suspect. I'm late, but how many quarterbacks are averaging 25 to 26 points a game? I have no idea, but I know ours is one of them. And that's good. That's awesome. Wallace, what's going on, Wallace? What's good, Steve? Good win yesterday. Let's see if we can keep going. We need to. We need it bad. Lisa says the Aints took that Carolina L and headed straight to London. Boy, I kept peeking in on that score, and I was saying to myself, they shut them out to the fourth quarter. But the only thing is, Lisa, and I hate to live in the past, it makes me angrier when I keep seeing the Saints lose because we gave them that game. When you control a game and the other team comes back to win like they did, we gave them that game. But we'll learn. We'll learn. Absolutely. Ump says Saints in trouble, and I love you too. Hey, man, it is what it is. Gregor says, feel good to see the Aints look terrible. Peyton and Breeze absent, greatly missed. To see it, that team is the very reason I don't like gold, white gold for me. Hey, listen, the downfall started a couple of years ago. When Drew Brees, we talk about the guy we just jettisoned off to Indianapolis. Drew Brees dropped like a rock his last couple of years. If you really look at it, he couldn't throw the ball past 10 yards. That's why Michael Thomas was the slant king. Michael Thomas probably happy now. He's like, woo, at least Jameson throwing them. Maybe not accurately, but at least he's throwing them 20, 30 yards down the field. But you saw the demise. If you truly look through a decent prescription of glasses, you saw that the Saints were on the way down. That's why I said coming into this year, 2022 is so critical for Atlanta and Carolina. Because if you have your future quarterback in place, Jameis is not going to be the answer in New Orleans. I'm sorry. He's not. He's not. But the thing is, New Orleans has that team that was already built of veterans and kind of going down. Carolina and Atlanta, a lot of young folks, young nucleus. We're on the rise. Atlanta and Carolina will be running this division in about another 2 years. Trust me on that. They're going to be running this division in a couple of years. And I'm not here to tell you Baker Mayfield is the answer either. But I'm talking about the core of the team. The defense, young. Offense, young. Same with the Falcons. Defense, young. Offensive line, young. Quarterback, about to be young. Running backs, aside of CP84, young. That's why it's so important to build that foundation now. Get the winning attitude into the team right now, just like we did last night. Folks, I don't care if we played slippery rock. We got to win last night. And we played an okay Seattle team. They're not world beaters, but I'm not surprised we beat them. I'm not. Everybody's, come the West Coast swing. We should have been 2-0. Ricky says, and the Stanks ain't the same without Peyton. That's all we need is to put the game in Present's hands. He's another Jameis Winston experience ready to happen, but he got much better playing running backs. Kamara's look kind of interesting coming off this year. You gotta They got to get him going. Wallace says, and guess who's next leading running back in the NFL? And that's our Cordero. Would you believe that? And listen, and I'm telling you, Cordero's number 2 and Chubb is number 1. Gonna have the 2 leading running backs in the NFL playing next week at the Georgia Dome. Georgia Dome. I'm sorry. Mercedes-Benz. I can't get that right. When the Benz gives me some memories, then I'll start referring to it as the Benz. But I haven't had memories there yet. And I say I really haven't. I haven't had any good memories there. As soon as I have good memories of the Benz, I'll start talking about it. Cam says Lamar is leading the way to the early MVP race. Jalen is right there, though. CP at least top 6. I agree. Jeremy, what's going on, brother? Said they've already far surpassed my expectations, which is the best part about coming into this year pessimistic. Not getting cocky, but I feel great about this team's future, especially with the budget they're on. And, you know, for those of us that get into that type of stuff, Jeremy, go look at what Jacksonville is doing. I'm not telling you Jacksonville has arrived, but think about their plan, Jeremy. They did the same thing aside of getting the number 1 overall quarterback. They built this team young the last couple of years. They stocked up those draft picks. And now, this year, had all that money to fill in spots. So, Oluokun, the guy from the wide receiver from the Cardinals, who for some reason is skipping my mind. They had all the money to plug and place those positions that they need. And now they're slapping up on the Chargers, albeit with a Herbert. But you got to give them credit where credit is due. My brother Sheehan, what's going on, man? Said the Browns was one of my books on the season. I'm still in 4 books and no possibles. Listen, if y'all don't understand, every time me and Sheehan come in here, we're talking spades there. Sheehan gave the best spades analogy at the beginning of the year when we were talking about the Falcons. And Shin, I'm gonna have to get you on here with me one day to come on here. If y'all don't know, he's on YouTube also with the Dixon Way. If you guys go and check that out, he had a nice live reaction video yesterday. Him and his wife hosted the live reaction show on YouTube. In other words, you're sitting there with them as they're going through the game and you're seeing his live reaction. It's extremely entertaining, and especially hearing him give it to those Seattle folks who were coming into the live. So if you get a chance, please go check that out for him. That brother know what he got going on. Glenn says, got to get some pressure on the quarterback, continue to force turnovers and control the time of possession. And when you're running the ball for 100 and I think the total, and let me get it right. I know it wasn't 200. I think it was right under. We ran for 179 yards yesterday. When you run for 179 yards, you're going to win the time of possession. And for some reason, they got this time of possession. They don't have it all. This got to be 3 quarters in because it's only showing 28 minutes for the Falcons and 16 for Seattle. And that can't be right because that doesn't add up to 60. But either way, Atlanta did dominate the time of possession in that game. You got to do it. Alberto says Giants was week 3. I probably talked about that first win. D says, who was your impact player on defense and offense? I'm going to tell you who my impact player was on defense, and he's the jersey that I'm wearing right now. Look, coming into the year, there was talk of trading him. There was talk of the youth movement and try to get what you can out of him. But Grady Jarrett didn't do anything but go back to the drawing board. Went back there like Rocky went to Russia and had to retrain. He went in there and trained. Did y'all look at Grady, man? Grady looked like he done shaved a little bit of weight and look more. Not that he never looked stocky, but Grady looked like he in some bust some head shape. So when I saw that one play, and because you asked impact player, as the leader on that defense, when he makes that one play and literally holds one guy in one hand while he rushes himself to Geno Smith on that critical drive when Seattle was trying to score, dude, I don't care what happened before that. That's play of the game. Richie Grant's interception was great, but we wouldn't have been in that position where Geno had to throw it up for grabs if Grady doesn't sack him for 10 yards and push him back even further. So Grady is my impact player defensively. Obviously, Patterson gets the offensive player of the game. Rusty said, Steve, what's the topic today? This topic was, are some of us really so critical about wins that we can't enjoy them anymore? That was the topic, but I'm getting ready to wrap up in a couple of minutes because I am going out with my beautiful bride here in a little bit. So I'm going to read these last couple of comments and get it on. Wallace says, I think our defense still needs some work, but they have made some improvements, and we gave up only 3 points in the fourth quarter in the last 2 games. Very good closing for the defense. Ricky says, we're thankful for Mariota's contribution, but he's not the future. Nothing but facts. Russell's really not cooking anymore. No, he's not. Seattle fans, I'm sure they wish they had him yesterday still. David, what's going on? Say Lamar's going scorched earth right now. We'd probably have to guarantee $250 million. Guess what? He's worth it. I'm sorry. I would do it in a heartbeat. Full speed with a hit stick and a man down. She says, we won, so I'm not going to talk badly about Mariota right now. The offensive MVP is Patterson. The play action and RPO we run with Mariota doesn't work if CP isn't in beast mode. I appreciate Arthur Smith for force-feeding Pitts in the first half to set the tone. And don't think teams aren't going to look at that. That now we're willing to throw that ball to Pitts. Because when Pitts got that ball, especially on the sideline, I thought he was going to score because he knocked the old boy silly. But I think that knocked his balance off that he went out of bounds. But he is, oh my goodness. Pitts is going to be nice. My brother PJ, what's going on, man? Says, Steve, I'm just hoping my kicker gets me 12 points tonight so I can beat you. No. I saw that. Graham Gano, listen, I need Graham Gano to score. I need him to score extra points tonight. I don't need any because I definitely am looking at that. No. Lisa said, how can I catch the live reaction for Shin? He's on YouTube on the Dixon Way. It's called Dixon. And like I said, him and his wife are very entertaining. They don't only do sports, but they do some reviews of TV shows and stuff like that too. So go ahead and subscribe to him on YouTube. Glenn says, Drake London is making me a believer. He's a dog. Oh, yeah. Hotline Bling is in the house. Wallace says, Seattle won the time possession 31-46 to 28-14. Well, you know what? I'm telling you. So I'm going to show you what I'm looking at so you don't think I've lost my mind. So this is the team stats thing from Pro Sports Reference. So you see the 28-14 right here, Wallace. That's what I was going by. So it says 28-14, 31-46. So you're probably right. I'm just going by what they said right here. So I don't want you to think that I'm losing my mind, but that's what they got going on that. So I'm trying to get out of here. See, y'all got me. Some of this technology got me all messed up. Okay. There we go. Stop sharing. All right. Sorry about that. Don't forget about Zoe Carter. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Give him credit for the sack too. Yep. Devontae, what's up? Devontae says it's a long shot, but I think it's possible Pitts and London can both hit 100 yards in the same game. It's going to happen. It's going to happen soon. So listen, got to run, folks. I said I was going to have some dinner tonight. I'm not going to leave my wife waiting. I appreciate everyone joining us on the Aftermath. We try to do this every Monday at 6 p.m. Look for some shorts this week on Uncle Steve's Lounge. And please tell everybody, if you get a chance, go over to Uncle Steve's Lounge. Please subscribe, not just because we want you to subscribe, but because we got some good content. And I enjoy interacting with all of us because we're all Falcon fans at the end of the day. Love doing this. Love bringing this content to you. Let's get a win again this week, folks. We can do it against Cleveland. I'll be at the game. Of course, you know I always do my halftime updates when I get there, but we'll be here Friday for picks as well. Look for us throughout the week. Until then, y'all take care. Rise up. Love it. I don't care who we beat. Win is a win. Love it, love it, love it. Y'all be good.